Alright, I don't have a lot of time to research for my Hungarian video because of my work schedule this week. I started looking into it and I realized I need a lot more research than I thought I did. So, I'm going to tumble down this Wikipedia rabbit hole that I started falling down a few days ago. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so I basically just released the last video, which doesn't normally happen. I usually record a little bit later in the week. Anyway, point is, let's tumble together. First, um, I'm going to just announce it again because last time I announced it at the end of the video. I'm going to be making a video about city names. So if you want, comment the name of a city. It doesn't have to be your city necessarily. And I'll dig into the root of its name, and I'll make a video about it probably 2 weeks from now. Now, since I pushed back the Hungarian video. So let's talk about this chart that I found that's essentially every Proto-Indo-European word and its various descendants in each branch of the Indo-European language family. It's so interesting to me. It's like Word Web the table. I love that. So just in case, because I'm going to share this on r/Wikipedia because this is a big, Wikipedia already basically continues this channel with its existence. But this particular Wikipedia page is very interesting to look at. Just to talk about it for a second, the Proto-Indo-European language is the language that led to a bunch of languages worldwide shown on this map. And the branches of this language include Germanic, Romance, Hellenic, Indic, Aryan, Slavic, Baltic, Celtic, Armenian, Albanian, Tocharian, and Anatolian. Two of those are dead, the Tocharian and the Anatolian. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I was looking at this chart is how sparse the words that hit on all cylinders are. And what I mean by that is words that have descendants in every single branch. Now, I can think of a few reasons for that. One is, for some of these branches, the earliest written record of that language family is 3 millennia after Proto-Indo-European existed. So that's a lot of time for words to mutate, for new words to be invented, and for people to pick up words from nearby languages that aren't Indo-European. The second reason for that is some of these languages, namely Tocharian and Hittite, being as they're dead, have a limited vocabulary of words that you can look at. So, for example, I think it would be difficult to find the word for twin in Tocharian. How often do you talk about twins? And would the few mostly religious texts in Tocharian, how often would those texts mention a twin? Possibly never. Now, there is a word that hits on all cylinders that honestly surprised me when I saw it, and it's the Proto-Indo-European word for sleeping or dreaming, swep. Now, that leads to words in English such as insomnia, which is basically Latin for I can't sleep or not sleeping, and hypnotize, which is from the Greek word hypnos, which means to sleep. And in all of those languages, it basically means the same thing, sleeping or dreaming. Ironically, our word sleep does not come from this root. Comes from a different Germanic root, which is probably related to a word, it's not exactly known, but it's probably related to a word that means something more like listless or lazy. But we used to have a word in Old English, sweven, is how I'm going to pronounce that because it looks way too much like seven to not be pronounced with that rhyming scheme. Sweven, which meant to dream or have a vision. So it took more of a that turn of a meaning as opposed to the sleeping meaning. A connection between an Indo-European root that I did not expect to find was that anemone, animate, and the Latin word for to breathe are related. So the Proto-Indo-European root hen means to breathe. That root leads to the Greek word anemos, which means wind, and anemone is a compound word that basically means windflower, because sailors believed that the anemone only opened when the wind blew. And I didn't look into that. That might be true, might not be true. Let me know if you know in the comments below. There's also the Latin word anima, and that meant to breathe. And then that led to our word animate. So something that is alive and breathing is animated. That makes sense. And finally, the words that I would have expected to be the most related in all the different branches are numbers. Why would numbers change? Numbers are pretty concrete, and Indo-European had a bunch of words for numbers, and that makes sense. Okay? Now, there are cases, and just off the top of my head, I know, like the word for 8 in Russian is vosiem, which basically means high 7, right? They say siem for 7 and vosiem for 8. Another example, that's called a remodeled word for a number. Another example is our word 20. There was a word in Proto-Indo-European that just meant 20, and that led to words like the Spanish veinte and the French vin, and there are other examples. The Persian word is something that starts with a B. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, our word 20, however, basically means 2 tens. It's remodeled, and, that's a whole thing. Now, like small numbers, you'd expect those to be related. Every word for 2 in every Indo-European language comes from the same root. Every word for 3. Then you get to 4, and they're all related, except for Hittite. And I didn't look into this because it just frustrated me so much that they remodeled the word for 4. Why? What's 2 plus 2? I think that needs a different answer. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. They would all be related, except for Hittite. And then there's no Hittite word for 5, 6, apparently. I know that there was a word for 5 and 6 in Hittite, but it wasn't written down, apparently. And then 7, 8, and 9 are all the same. I don't get Hittite counting. I'm going to have to look into that on my own time because it frustrates me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching Ling King. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know a city name. It doesn't have to be, like, you can just literally comment London. If everybody comments London, I would laugh really hard. But please don't do that, because that'll be a fun video to make. I'm interested in place names that I haven't heard. So yeah. Once again, thank you for watching Ling King. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. Bye-bye.